So this year I went for a scan and I improved. So I moved from osteoporosis back to osteopenia. Plus those numbers got better. And the
And
first thing that
you're not taking any medication for it, right?
no, and he thought he gave me some, but I didn't take it, and I told him that. And they also had a calcium and a vitamin D2, which I didn't really take because I have to find a better brand. It just didn't agree with me. It was like oyster shells. Anyway, so what happened that I asked intuition, and guess what came was I'm Shim Jim Jim Heim I'm Om. So
Mm-hmm.
for a year and a half of doing that spinal mantra, the density in the bones has, at least I don't have anything else to compare this against. I can send you the results of last year, this year. I was like, holy crap. He was like looking at it and he's like, how does this even happen? He's like, oh, it's a medicine. And I said, no. And I told him about the mantra. I always tell him because he's Indian, and yeah. So I was yeah, I got a vaccine, which I didn't want, but I still took it anyway. But anyway, so that's where I am today, working with a little bit of that from the vaccine.
Oh, very interesting. Actually, the interesting part is I have also noticed in me, some degree of improvement in my bone too. I was, diagnosed with osteopenia like 15 years back.
Mm.
Okay. And I have found, and I have not degraded. And there is one other thing to remember. You see, when they measure this bone density, they say measure it on the same machine,
Mm-hmm.
the same lab. So what you did a few years back, was it in the same place?
Yeah, same model number. It even has the machine model number and everything. I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So I think doctor, and you did it every day. I told him we did this mantra. I didn't tell him what it was. I said, but we did it. We've been doing it every day for like a year and a half now. So almost 450 days.
I have actually found another 4 or 5 people who reported that their spine and neck, knee, and all of these issues got resolved from the mantra.
Yes. And that DEXA scan, it's called, you could probably find a PCP that has it and just start. You got to start somewhere. If they have osteoporosis, at least if you can move from osteoporosis to osteopenia.
See, what happens is there are two problems over here. One is a person has to be consistent, and it takes a period of time of a good 6 months plus before changes will happen. Mm-hmm. And while it is very easy to pop a pill, for somebody to sit and do this for like 6 to 10 minutes is a different matter. And so in this particular case, this is not the place where we can test it, and in the environment we are in. But at a later time, possibly we can do it, and we'll see how to work this.
It's making a difference. Anyway, I did want to share it. I was pretty delighted.
Very nice.
He was delighted. He thought it was the vitamin D2 and the calcium. I'm like,
is there any other thoughts, questions from anyone?
I'm looking up that question from WhatsApp a few weeks ago.
Oh. Now I'm going to raise a question for all of you over here. The way in which we understand the entire world and our individual system is that what we see in the physical world is connected with the spiritual world elsewhere. We all agree on that? Okay. Now what happens is, the one difference between inanimate and the animate is, while both of them are connected into the spiritual world, the animate has consciousness, namely a mind where they can decide. Whereas on the other hand, inanimate doesn't have that, right? So let's focus only on the animate, human beings, okay? And So first is we have a connection into the spiritual world, and that whatever is the connection into the spiritual world, once it works into the body, there are connections in the body as well, right? We call them as nadis in the body, right? And where is the evidence of that? Well, can anybody tell me where is the evidence of that?
In the T cells?
No. What is the evidence that there are these nadis, communication things in the body?
I don't have evidence. I have.
Actually, there is documented research evidence. And what is the documented research evidence? The thing is, acupuncture works.
Mm.
And acupuncture, they talk about the biomeridians, and they will go to the specific point, an expert acupuncturist, and put a needle over there, and things happen, right? So, and that acupuncture works is documented. Okay. So so what we know is there are these subtle communications in the body that are outside the nervous system. The nervous system obviously plays a role, because if something needs to be fixed or whatever, the nervous system is what controls how much of blood flow, how much energy to service each area and all of that. So they obviously have a role. But the communication channel is different from the nervous system. So now we understand the communication, the physical body, we have these. But now can we parse them into different kinds? So in the acupuncture system, how many people have used acupuncture at any point in time? Okay, 3 of you. Okay. So when you have used it, did you use it for any pain condition? Any of you? Okay, so I see Julie nodding, and I see Asha Sehgal nodding. Cassandra has also raised her hand. Okay. So did you feel a reduction in the pain immediately after the needles were inserted? Julie is nodding her head. Yes, right? No. Unmute yourself. You can speak up.
Yeah, it took a little, I mean, I was laying there for about 30 minutes or 45 minutes. So then afterwards, it did feel a little bit better. But
in that 40 minutes when you were lying down, before you left got out of the table, you did not feel any pain reduction?
A little bit, yes.
You felt a little bit, right?
Yeah, it wasn't immediate when they like put the needles in.
Yeah, not immediate, but while but when they stick the needle in, they leave it there for a while, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for over a half hour.
Yeah. So at the end, the treatment is done only at the end of that. So at the end of the treatment, whether you felt immediate relief, you felt some relief at that time. And as you walked away and after an hour or two, it felt even better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Cassandra has the same experience. Now, Asha Sehgalji, how is your...
Yes. Yeah, I was in a car accident, and naturally, I think to me, acupuncture did help later on, like.
The question is, if when the needles were put in over there,
Right.
you were in treatment, before you left the treatment, after the needles were pulled out, at that time, did you feel a difference in your pain?
I'm very sure now, I've forgotten, but I think so, because I took like how many sessions? About 10, 15 sessions, I took. So I used to go there every time.
Okay.
My one question is this: who is in the spiritual world?
Who is in the spiritual world? You are in the spiritual world.
No, when you connect, to whom do you connect in the spiritual world?
Well, the thing is basically, in the spiritual world, all the spirits includes all of us and many more, and all the billions of creatures, this thing, and the inanimate. So that is the world in which that kind of interaction is taking place. And from there, from that interaction, you get thoughts in your head. You get events manifest in front of you. So it is the whole dynamics of interactions that are happening there that are being projected into the physical world.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Tammy, you were going to say your experience about acupuncture.
Yes. At the time that I had it, I did not know anything about energy in myself, really. And I had it in my neck, like in a trigger point from my physical therapist, and it hurt. And that's all I could think of was how much it hurt.
So you didn't get any immediate relief or anything?
Yeah, and that was a long time ago. So I haven't
Okay.
done it since this.
You see, in the field of acupuncture, there are good acupuncturists and there are fake acupuncturists. They have a certificate. When I call them fake, in the sense, you see, in order to be a good acupuncturist, while because everybody has tried to work towards the modern medical system of anatomically, this is where the point is and things like that. In reality, the acupuncture point is like, a very, very small point, like the hair, like the thickness of a hair, right? And so what happens is anatomically, if they say this is the acupuncture point, okay, that point is quite a large area over there. And what happens is when you put the needle over there, unless you get it at the exact right spot, you will not get the benefit. Okay? And so what happens is if you go to, and so how is a person able to be a good acupuncturist? They need to have the intuitive sense to feel the energy vibration there so that they can stick the needle in the right place. Now, if that happens, the impact is very quick, almost instantaneous. Okay? Now, one time I went to a person who is a MD who got certified in acupuncture. And what happened is the person had no intuition whatsoever. Okay? And the person sticks the needle anatomically where the acupuncture point is supposed to be. And when nothing happens, you know what he does? He connects the needle to electrical energy and gives a little bit of shock over there so that it will spread a little bit more, or very low this thing, okay? Like 5 to 10 volts or so. So that, you can feel the, so that if it is close to the point, then it will have an impact, okay? So the thing is, you see, what happens is acupuncture, when done correctly, it gives frequent and good results. Now, what Julie explained over there, Cassandra wants to say something. Go ahead.
No, I was wondering, 'cause basically I did it for health, but after the acupuncture, I started to do yoga. Can we get similar effects with acupressure?
Very interesting thought. You see, let's understand what acupressure or acupuncture and all of these do. Okay? Now, in acupuncture, you have the nadis or the channels that are flowing the biomeridians. So by sticking a needle over there, when it is done correctly, we are not talking about the, random shooting. By the way, do you know how to recognize a good acupuncturist? If a person has to stick 50 needles on you, the person is a bad acupuncturist. Okay? If the person is able to relieve you in less than 10 needles, that person is a very good acupuncturist. So, Julie, in your experience, how many needles did the person poke on you?
It was under 10.
Under 10, right?
She'd just go like this, and then she'd be okay, like, okay, and you put a sheet on me and it's fine.
That's right.
Walk
So
away.
a very good acupuncturist, in 4 or 5 needles, they will hit it. Why is that the case? Because with each, biomeridian, for an organ, there are several points where you could stick. Now, bad acupuncturist knows where the biomeridians are anatomically, but cannot intuitively sense them. So what they will do is, everywhere along the point, they'll keep sticking the needle, hoping, like it's a crapshoot. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if you put 50 of them, maybe one of them will hit the right place, right? And so that is a bad acupuncturist.
But Dr. Rajan, some of the Chinese acupuncturists are very, very good.
I know, they are very, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
And
they are
so
very good.
when you go to such a person, you'll find between 4 to 8 needles they will stick in you and you're done. You're very good. Okay? So if you ever go for an acupuncturist, understand how good the person is. Earlier on, you wouldn't know because everywhere there'll be, for some referral point wherever. But once you experience the person, just look how many needles they are poking on you, and immediately you will know whether you have gone to a good acupuncturist or not. Right? Now, so coming back, why did I bring this point up? Because the biomeridians that are running in you and the place where you hit the acupuncture needle, what is the needle exactly doing to you?
Stopping or
Oh.
starting a current? Some sort of a current?
No, it opens the blockage, right? The energy channel.
Actually, it's very interesting. If it is a question of simply, I call it as disrupting the communication, okay? And the way in which it does is, because it is a steel needle, what it does is it dissipates some of the energy from there, so that the communication, as you put in rightly, Ashaji, that it removes the blockage by removing unwanted communication. Excessive. Okay? So now let's understand. Has anybody here tried acupuncture for any reason other than pain? Nobody here, right?
Well, I did it for general health, like to improve my health.
What was problem with your general health? If you're eating well, running well, feeling good, what is general health?
Well, at the time, I had 3 little children and I was fatigued.
So you were stressed, you said?
Yes.
And so you used it for that. And that's okay. Stress is really relating to tightness in the body and mind, this thing. So it is a weaker type of pain is what you're describing. You probably felt stiffness in the body and that got released at the end of the session, right?
Yes, I was very relaxed.
Absolutely. So that's good. Anybody else have, Sadhna ji?
Yeah, it does relieve some chemicals also when that point is stimulated. And we use the thing I use it for, not myself, means I refer, or we do the acupressure for vomiting, nausea, vomiting. That is
Acupressure or acupuncture?
No, acupuncture also could be done for nausea, vomiting, especially during pregnancy. Or it could be done, even acupressure also helps equally good for nausea, vomiting.
Excellent. You see, anything that is related, Julianne, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I went for also for weight loss, but I gained weight instead of losing weight. And she gave me some herbs to take too, and I'm like, okay, my scale is going like this, so I stopped.
Okay. So the thing is, you see, for weight loss, it cannot help very much. Okay, I'll tell you why. Why is it I brought this up? The points that are where it will work on is physical pain, deep relaxation, and anything that relates to nerve response. Okay, like nausea and those kinds of things, right? And however, on the other hand, it cannot help you related to what I call deep-seated issues like autoimmune conditions and things where it can give you temporary relief, okay? But it cannot cure you for autoimmune conditions or deep-seated problem like for diabetes. It cannot cure diabetes for you, okay? Acupuncture. So why is it cannot cure, and why that happens? For this, you need to understand what exactly are the biomeridians and how the communication is working, right? So where do the biomeridians originate from?
The chakras?
Yes, excellent, Bhairavi. So the thing is, you see, the biomeridians corresponding to organ systems is emanating from the chakras, the 5 lower chakras. So the communication that we call in yoga and Ayurveda is Apanavayu and Vyanavayu. And what is happening is we are disrupting it when we are putting the needle over there. And when the disruption happens, of course, the process of depleting the communication will have a biochemical impact, as Sadhana ji was mentioning, right?
Basically, endorphins are released.
Absolutely, it will have. But the thing is, basically, again, the communication is all connecting from the chakras. So because it is connecting with the chakras, anything related to relief in Apanavayu and Vyanavayu, it can give you, right? But what it cannot give you is, it can have a residual impact on Samanavayu and Pranavayu, right? It may be very, very, a drop in the bucket for the Udanavayu, okay? But on the other hand, the primary impact is always Apanavayu and Vyanavayu with acupuncture, because you're dealing with the nadis that are coming from the chakras. Whereas on the other hand, if you want to deal with autoimmune conditions or deep-rooted problems and all of that, which is the place where you want to deal with? You want to deal with Samanavayu and Udanavayu. And of course, Pranavayu will also come into it, because that's what activates everything else, right? So this is the kind of distinction. And so what happens now, you can quickly understand, is that along the spine you have the Pranavayu, along the middle of the body you have the Sushumna Nadi with the Samanavayu, along the front of the body you have the Udanavayu to the Atma Nadi. And those are only 3 nadis over there, and they are all connected elsewhere. Whereas on the other hand, it is the Apanavayu and the Vyanavayu that is connecting through in several thousands of these things that are spreading all over the body through the biomeridians, right? So that is how we understand it. So now that we have understood how we are dealing with in the communication, the lower this thing, and how this is impacted. Now, let's ask the next question. So, when we are dealing with communication and healing, we can do the disruption by physical disruption with the acupuncture, right? Now, if you are going to impact the Samanavayu or the Udanavayu, or if you're going to impact the Samanavayu or the Udanavayu, how would you impact it?
Chanting or meditation?
Meditation, pranayam also to some extent.
Bhairavi, can you be more specific?
Chanting or meditation?
Very interesting. See, what happens is, when we do our chakra vibration, we are chanting the mantras over there that balances the Samanavayu. But when it balances the Samanavayu, it has a residual impact on the Udanavayu as well as the Apanavayu and the Vyanavayu, right? It's the mediator between the Udanavayu and the other, the Apanavayu and Vyanavayu. So chakra vibration, that chanting sound vibrations can make the difference. However, on the other hand, if you want to have direct impact on the Udana Vayu, see, you can have the Samana Vayu impacting the Udana Vayu, or you can directly impact the Udana Vayu impacting the Samana Vayu. You see where you're putting the weightage? If you want to begin from the Udana Vayu impacting, you need a personal mantra that is specific and it will hit at the nub in order to bring the right energy over there to resolve the problem. And that is the silent mantra meditation. And when you're using chanted mantras, it can work. The sound vibration is more gross. When you're using that, then it will impact the Samana Vayu. Whereas on the other hand, when you are doing silent mantra, the way in which the communication works is different. Okay? This is the difference between what you would call as acoustics or sound vibrations versus electromagnetic vibration. When you're silently thinking and using subtle this thing, without making it, that hits the Udana Vayu more. Right? So, we are making you all into therapists over here. So this is the therapy lecture, right?
I was going to say, this reminds me of class.
Yeah. And so the thing is basically, you know how to describe. And by the way, when you're doing asanas and when you're eating food, where are the places you're primarily working on? You're primarily working on Apana Vayu and the Vyana Vayu, but there can be residual impact in the Samana Vayu and a trace impact also on the Udana Vayu, right? Now, what is the role of Prana Vayu? The Prana Vayu is to feed the communication on all the others, right? Now, what happens is, have any of you ever experienced when you're using some electronic instrument and you find the voltage suddenly drops? Have you seen what it does? Have you ever experienced that? Think
The
of
screen will dim.
you have seen that?
Yeah, the screen dims, right?
Okay. Well, the place where I have seen, I'll explain with you. Okay. The thing is, you have in India, when I was growing up, there used to be a lot of times when they call it as load shedding, which means they are unable to this thing, and so the power cut happens, right? So before the power cut happens, when this thing is happening, if you're playing, in old days, these days you don't use very much. What is that? The plastic, there's a term for it. They use it. The flat records on which you put the needle and it spins and this thing, gramophone, right?
Grammar.
Your old gramophone kind of thing that would play the music. When the power goes down, the music will be playing and suddenly it will slow down. It will go, the sound of it will go like it is, like somebody has gone drunken over there and the voice is drawling, right? Have you ever
Bass
done that?
Yeah, Basul, it will start like slow and Basul. All suras are not in tone.
Exactly. So what happens is, now why did I bring this analogy over here? What is the importance of the prana nadi? The importance of the prana nadi is to provide enough communication to generate enough energy in your system to promote the communication of the other four vayus. Right? So what happens is, if the prana nadi is weak, then you feel tired. And if you feel tired, there is not enough energy to feed all the others. Right? So what happens is, I'm very curious for Cassandra over here. You mentioned that for relaxing, they put some needles on you. Can you tell me where exactly they put the needles for you? Was it along the spine?
No, basically it was in between my index and thumb.
Oh, in between your index and thumb. Oh, makes perfect sense. It was only in the hands, right?
Right.
Actually, it is very interesting. The index and thumb, index is the air element, and the thumb is the space element. So what was being impacted over there is the pranavayu and the udanavayu is what they were targeting to give deep relaxation, right? So all of you have read the book, so you know how to deeply relax. And why is it you feel tired or stressed? It is because the demand for energy is less than the supply of energy, right? So what do? You let go, relax, which means the demand for energy decreases. The other side is you do Bhastrika Pranayama and generate more energy, then you feel more relaxed because there is supply increases, right? So you have read the book over there and you have an idea how to do this. And of course, if the mind is confused, then you do the alternate nostril breathing so that you balance the two hemispheres of the brain, right? So the thing is now we understand the role of all of these things. So what have we understood? We have found the role of how we disrupt energy flow through acupuncture, by physical movements, stretches, and all of that. You're disrupting communication flow in the Apanavayu and Vyanavayu, right? When you do Bhastrika and all of these breathing exercises, you're managing the Pranavayu. When you're doing chakra vibration, you're balancing the Samanavayu, and as a result, it has a deeper impact. When you're doing silent mantra, you're seeking to, and the mantra has to be the correct, right one. It cannot be any random one. Then in which case, it can have impact on your Udanavayu. Right? Now we have worked through all of this. So are these the only set of tools available for us?
No.
What is the other?
Mudras.
Mudras are simply the activating on these channels that we are working with. Okay? So it's not very much different. Well, let me put another thought for you. How many of you have heard of placebo effect?
Yeah,
How many of you know what is nocebo effect?
I knew that.
Nobody knows the nocebo effect?
Your belief.
Okay. See, what happens is in placebo effect, you believe whatever you are doing is healing you, and the healing happens, right? And it may be a sugar pill, it may be a thought in your head, whatever it may be. Okay? Now, the nocebo effect is you're given some treatment and you believe this is not going to work for you.
Negative
It
effect.
won't have any effect on you. That's a nocebo effect, right? And what is the in between? In between is you're without any either belief or lack of belief. You're just neutral, right? So there is another element that seems to impact healing. And what is that other element that impacts healing?
Attention or focus.
And what is the proper name for that focus that you talk of?
I think it's transmitting the energy.
Consciousness.
Exactly, Cassandra. The thing is, you see, what we spoke about over here is you have the physical channel disruption, you have the vibrational breathing and vibrational disruption, and then the other level of disruption happens from your consciousness. Your consciousness is the state of your mind. And by the way, that is the distinction between inanimate and animate. In the inanimate, what happens? In the inanimate, you can physically manipulate it. You can do all the, biochemical reactions and things like that, all on the inanimate. But the inanimate cannot choose to have a placebo effect or a nocebo effect or be this thing. Whatever happens will happen. Whereas an animate being can, because of consciousness, create one of these three elements: placebo, neutral, or nocebo effect, and that can impede the healing in you. Isn't that very interesting?
Yes.
Now, any of you here have any issues for which you take a medication? You do. Okay, you do. I'm going to ask you to try something. Okay? You go and look at your medication and look at what is the biochemical element of the medication. Okay? You can do two tests for yourself. One is take the bottle of medication and keep it inside you, and you feel that the medication has entered you, and see whether the medication works for you or not. You have to hold it there for about 10 minutes or so, and it has entered you. You can do another thing. Go to the Google and look for the molecular structure of the biochemical that is there in your medication. You'll get the molecular chart over there. Keep staring at the molecular chart and think it has entered you, and see whether it heals you. Now, some of you here are very sensitive people, right? So we can try an experiment if you like. Okay? Sadhnaji, I hope you are there. You are going to love this as a doctor. The thing is, you know that if a person is getting a heart attack, they would give the nitroglycerin so that it is a vasodilator, right? You know, I always thought it was a vasodilator for the coronary arteries. But what I discovered is it's a vasodilator for the whole body. Okay? So how did I discover this? I looked at the molecular structure of nitroglycerin, and I kept staring at it and saw what was happening in me. I could literally feel all my blood vessels open and there is more heat generated. Okay? So I'm going to put the molecular structure of nitroglycerin here on the screen, and I want you all to stare at it and see what happens to you. Right? By the way, as yogis who have trained yourself, if you find that if you can go into that state, then in which case you can get a prescription for the drug, but you may never need to go and buy the drug. It can save you some money. All you need is go and look up the molecular structure and it'll heal you, right? But then there is something different. This thing you need to only pop the pill. Here you have to be focused on it and concentrate on it for about 10 minutes. Okay? So let us look at the molecular structure of nitroglycerin. Okay. Okay. So this is what it gives. Okay. So you have it over here, right? Just keep staring at it. You've been staring at it for about 3 minutes. Anybody feel any sensations or anything in the body? You can speak up.
Strangely, I started relaxing almost instantly.
I'm having the opposite. I'm having my heart is racing.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, I could feel my pulse, and then all of a sudden, about the lengthier part into it, all of a sudden my breathing got easier.
I became warm and a little nauseated.
Does anybody here have tightness in any part of the body?
Just in here.
Do you feel that tightness relieve?
Yeah. Yes.
See, I'll explain to you what is happening to me. You see, given that I'm a senior citizen, I'm not surprised that I have some degree of arthritis in different parts of my body. And I also have atherosclerosis. I have poor blood circulation in my calf muscles and in my carotid arteries in the neck. And that is why my neck is always a little tight and maybe a little achy. And my fingers, the phalanges and the fingers, the joints and the finger joints, I have, a little bit of pain, particularly in the left index finger, where the pain hardly ever goes away. Now, as I'm watching this, the pain is gone. I can feel the blood flowing in my neck. The tightness in my neck is gone. I can feel the blood flow in my calf muscles, where it's a little more difficult. Now, when I started it initially, it all started from my chest and my heart, and then slowly it spread all over the body to wherever it needed. Did anybody have any comparable experience to that?
I do.
You do.
I said so, but my I was on mute, so it did nobody here heard that. That's
Oh,
why
okay.
my finger, my hand, the pain has really exactly what you were saying.
Where you could feel the difference.
Yes, I could feel the difference.
So you are a physician, and
Yeah.
so so this is blowing your mind, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to do another test for you to see how this is different for you. Okay. So what I'm going to do for you over here is, um, let's see. Okay. So now I'm going to share with you something which is quite different, and most of you may not feel any difference. This is the molecular, structure of salbutamol or albuterol, that is the bronchodilator, right? For people who are asthmatic, right? So pick any of them over here and just keep staring at it and see whether anything happens for you. So somebody said for the previous one, the heart was racing. In this, did anybody feel anything at all?
For
The
this one,
breathing improved. Means it is the
Breathing is smooth?
chest feels more relaxed and more smooth entry of the.
But no effect on the heart or any of that kind of heart racing or anything, right? Tammy, what were you going to say?
No, I didn't feel that way.
For my experience, as I used to take albuterol for asthma, and my asthma like went away. Remember when I first started yoga way back, and I looked at that hex or whatever, the 6-sided chain thing with the double, and as I'm focusing on it, I could feel, that steroid feeling of when you first take the inhale of the puff, and so you get like this like flushing of all the so in the heart and like behind the lungs, that's where I felt it. That's such a trip, dude. I'm gonna do that for calcium now.
So what I have demonstrated for you is this is what is placebo effect. You think you have it, and you stare at it, you have it, and it goes into you. And if placebo effect can heal, then in which case, why not use it? That's your medication.
Dr. Rajan, with the second one, it was relaxing. Literally towards the end, I had a kind of a pain right here on the left side, the back of the head.
Yes, yes. Actually, this is very interesting, what you point out in the pain over there in the back of the head. I think maybe Dr. Sadhana Samant can tell us that from the brain perspective, where is the control for the respiratory system in the brain? Is it somewhere in the back?
The medulla.
Medulla is further down. What she's pointing out is further up behind is what she's pointing.
Near the supranuclear, not in the vision area.
Kind of behind the ears.
It is behind the ear?
A little bit top, not exactly.
Little bit above is where you're pointing out.
Yeah.
Occipital?
Yes, it is in the occipital lobe area is what she's pointing.
Can you see?
We understand.
Okay.
How was your breathing, Hema?
Normally okay, but you told me to climb up the stairs 25 times. I did it 10 times, then I start to pant a little bit.
Have you ever had any breathing problems at any time?
Yeah, from the very beginning, because I had wheezing as a child.
Oh, so you are somewhat close to wheezing asthmatic kind of thing, right?
Correct.
Oh, okay. So right now, let's see. Oh, right now you're pretty tight in the chest. Take a deep breathe in and blow out through the mouth and feel the stretch in the lungs. You'll feel like resistance. Your lungs are not breathing enough easily, right? You feel the strain.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, you have tightness. I can sense it here.
Yeah.
Amy, can you sense the tightness in Hema?
Yes, I thought it was mine, and so it's Hema. Do you come to yoga, Hema? For Bhastrika
I do
practice?
it at home myself. I don't come to the class. Yeah, I should be coming to the
Bhastrika practice. I don't know. Sorry, doc. You're the doc.
So any case, so the thing is, you see, so what it is Hema, the problem for you is, as you're doing this, it is stirring up your whole system. That is why you felt it behind the brain, because the controller over there is trying to kind of, push to, make you this thing. So maybe you need to reduce the dosage. Don't stare on it too long.
Okay. And while you were saying this, I was thinking about my eyes. So maybe, I can. So what do I do for, for eyes? What medication they give? What molecule should I be
So
looking?
let's find out what medication they gave you, and then we look at the molecule. And by the way, the thing is, you see, what happens is, for you, instead of doing this for this 3 or 4 minutes that we do for 1 or 2 minutes 5 times a day.
Okay.
And that will slowly ease you. If you do too much at one time, the body may not feel as comfortable, like the pain in the head you got in the back over there. Right?
So what was that molecule? Because I need to know that, right, to do it.
It is the normal bronchodilator salbutamol or albuterol. It's the same.
Okay.
Okay, and just a medication.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to share something else with you. And this again is the this thing that prompted us to look over here. I knew about this long time back and had forgotten. Okay, and the thing is, we used to do testing to see whether something works for you, medication. If we didn't have the actual tablet, we'll simply print out the molecular structure and have a person touch with their finger on the molecular structure, and you can do the bioval reading to see whether it is working for them or not. We used to do that. Okay.
Yeah, we used to put the thing.
Yeah, and so the thing is, what happened was, one of our colleagues who was going to have a cataract, surgery. Yeah, Tammy, you have your finger pointed.
Yes, I have an appointment for this right eye. It's so blurry, and I have an appointment in September. Come on, give me it.
So I'll tell you something. So what happened was, this colleague is a elderly person, and this person had incontinence. So the person was given Flomax so that the urination can be better controlled. It could be eased out, right? So what happened is, Flomax has a side effect where it creates something called floppy iris in the eyes. And so what happens is, when this cataract, the new lens is put in, the floppy iris creates a little bit of this thing, a slight different kind of an effect, right? So Sadhna ji, you know about it, right? Yeah. So what happened is, this person said, since the this thing was going to take place, this person said, no, I'm going to avoid the Flomax, and instead of that, what I will do is, he went to this live frequency, right? The Rife frequency, he went for that, and he did the Rife frequency, and actually his incontinence improved. So he was basically using mantra, subtle mantra, and his incontinence problem was resolved. Then he went for the cataract surgery. He had never ever had Flomax, okay, or any of the medication. So when he went for the cataract surgery, in the next day when they looked at it, the doctor said, are you taking Flomax? You have a floppy iris over here. So he said, I was recommended, but I didn't take it. Instead, I did the vibration. He said, you have floppy iris over here. So it was very fascinating that how this could all do this. And by the way, don't stare too much on these things, thinking it won't have any effect on you. Okay? You can have excessive dosage of it too if you just do it on it, and it could be as dangerous as having too much medication. Okay, the thing is, you see, what happens is, the first, in medical school, the first lesson in pharmacology discipline is, every medication is a poison, okay? But they didn't figure out, they thought you have to dish it out in from the pharmacist. Now we have it right over here, and the pharmacist here is staring at us. Bhairavi is the pharmacist over here. Okay. So, Cassandra, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yes. Can this work for people that want to stop smoking? Can they just imagine themselves smoking or going through the motion of taking that deep breath and just using?
I'm sure it can work, but the problem you need to understand is the physical impact in the body will be exactly the same as that. Okay? So, in other words, if smoking is going to give them a congestion in their lungs or whatever, that will still happen. Okay? So, just because, you think you're not really consuming something, you won't have the negative effect of it. Don't think that way. Both the positive and negative effect, everything will come simply from the effect of the staring or the thought that you're doing. So be careful about what you think.
Okay. So what about if I'm eating a brownie and I imagine myself just eating a carrot?
Well, that's a tricky question. The thing is basically the brownie is a physical element that is entering your body, and you're thinking that you're eating a carrot. So you will get both the effect of the carrot and the brownie within you.
That's still better than just eating brownie.
Yeah. So by the way,
And you're
be
not
very
making
careful.
yourself
I shared something. Sorry, somebody said something. Go
I
ahead.
just said she's not making herself feel guilty by eating the brownie. She's just thinking she's eating a carrot. So that's got to be healthier.
I see. The thing is, you see, that's not the definition of health. The definition of health and proper thing is you should eat what your system needs. You need a little bit of everything. Okay? You need a little bit of fat, you need a little bit of this, that, and all of that based upon what you're used to. Okay? So, if you have been a certain kind of a food eating person and you suddenly change your diet, your body will not withstand it. Okay? So, any changes you make has to happen slowly. By the way, there is a very wrong conception that has been driven to the people. You are what you eat. You are not what you eat. You are what you think. Okay? And so, what is very important to realize is as long as you have clarity in the head and openness to understand what the body needs, your inner sense will guide you what it is that you should eat. And so, don't say the brownie is bad. If the brownie may have an equally good impact on your health if that's what you need. Okay, so this idea of a think that carrot is better than brownie is not a right way of thinking about it. Okay, again, a little bit of a caution for all of you over here. Please be careful. The effect of this can be as physical as, taking a medicine or this thing and all of that. So please don't overdo it. Be very careful. For testing purposes, we did this thing. If you don't have a need for it, don't go playing around with it. Okay?
Okay.
In this, may I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, about homeopathy medicines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is practically there is no medicine in the tablet they provide. It is.
It's exactly this, but no, there is something else.
Bioenergy. It has the memory of those molecules. That's what it's saying.
That is correct. That is exactly what is happening, and it is the same thing we are doing over here.
That's what I thought. Means now I understood how does that must be functioning.
So I hope this session was interesting for all of you.
Very interesting.
So the homeopathy medicine only has the molecule memory?
That's correct.
Okay. And the body uses that and cures it?
It heals. It enhances the healing process of the natural healing process of the body. That much I know. But
Okay.
so much
Because
to the
one of my
healing.
friends, who took some homeopathy medicine from a famous person in India, he got, he had diabetes for so many years, from, when he was 30, 40, whatever. He got rid of diabetes. Now he can eat as much sweet as he wants, but nothing happens. But instead, it affected his kidney. Now he has to go for dialysis.
Mm.
Can that
That's
happen
very.
with homeopathy?
See, the thing is, basically, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
You see, we cannot tell what really happened. Everything is, whatever is the molecular reaction that is happening there may be affecting it. It could have, it couldn't, it could be a different thing. How many years did the person have diabetes before the person went to homeopathy?
Like I said, maybe 35, 40. Now he is in his 60s.
So that itself so much.
No, no, you're giving me wrong information. Before he went to the homeopathy doctor, how many years did he have diabetes? That's the question I asked.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out. So from 40 to say 60. Now he is nearly 65. So the last 5 years he took homeopathy medicine.
So the thing is, he was diabetic for 20 years before he went to the homeopathy medicine, right?
That's correct.
If the person was diabetic for 20 years before that, and if it was badly controlled, that is enough to create, damage to the endothelial cells in the blood and the kidney. So the kidney could already have been in the last stages of damage, and the last 5 years of taking the homeopathic medicine may not really have had the strong contribution. So that's why I asked that question. Doctor, you would agree?
Yeah, and I think it is that person got the diabetes at young age.
Yeah.
So those are
Yeah, the thing
usually
is,
very,
his own
very.
wife is a homeopathy doctor. And I was asking her, oh, why didn't you tell me that, he completely cured of diabetes, because Chandraji, my husband, has, borderline diabetes. She said, oh, I didn't tell you because whatever he did, it cured the diabetes, but then it affected his kidney. That's what she said. She herself is a homeopathy doctor.
Listen, Hemaji, you should not be talking like this at all. The thing is, you see, first thing for you and Chandraji to realize is that find harmony within yourself, and that itself will start fixing things.
Correct.
And to look for an external cure, and without finding that harmony within yourself, you will always have some other side effects that will come along.
Totally agree.
So shall we close over here for today? Hopefully you had a mind-boggling experience, and I don't know what next Wednesday will bring.
Okay.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
I wish we had recorded this session.